Hello everyone! 2 days ago I released a video, server meshing is working. No, it isn't really working yet. I want to make one thing perfectly clear. I'm not making my videos to seed fear, uncertainty and doubt. We are in year 14, CRG is at over $1 billion in funding. Don't just look at the funding tracker on CRG's website. CRG also has private investors, for example the Caldas, which give Chris at least $80 million. I just think it's not asked too much for CRG to show us that they can actually make an MMO with acceptable interaction delays and acceptable do-things. And to this day, CRG hasn't shown us this. We got the first iteration of server meshing in January 2025, static server meshing, and of course no one was thinking it would work without any bugs, especially not because this is CRG. But telling us server meshing is working flawlessly is not the truth, Chris, and you know this. So please, stop telling things that are not true. This doesn't make you look good.
Server meshing has been working pretty much flawlessly at scale for the past 9 months.
Here's just another example of server meshing not working. Here's a Spectrum thread from Kansas Khan. Shields not coming on after exiting Quantum. Anyone knows why suddenly when exiting Quantum, my shields are not coming on, even though the power management indicates that they are functioning. Diagnostics reports them at 100%, no repair necessary. He is in NEV mode, without shields of course. He finished his Quantum jump. He switches back to SCM mode, but shields are not coming up. Shield buffer is empty, but it shouldn't be. And all of this because he crossed the border between servers in his server shard. Commander Dio left a reply and a link to an IC report. When passing server boundary, shield buffer is empty and including shield recover and region. Takes time from 0 to 100% when exiting Quantum travel. Actinong replied, we were promised disabling Quantum travel would rapidly bring back the shields like the energy was stored. He means switching to SCM mode after Quantum jump. That was the primary defense when people complained about master mode, the goofy shield mechanic and the problems they create. Konicon left a workaround. Workaround for me when having this issue: push F8 to reset your power distribution, then power down the ship, leave the pilot seat, get back in and power on the ship again, flight ready. That's a lot of steps just to get your shields back on after a Quantum jump. And we have this IC report, shields are empty after passing through a server boundary. Link to the Spectrum posting and IC report are in my first pinned comment below. 43 contributions. Reproduction steps: have full shields, quantum travel to different server, for example Hurston to R-Core, switch to SCM mode, observe shield level, shields are empty, regenerating from 0. What happened? After passing through server boundaries, shield buffer is empty. This is not how it should be. Of course, CRG putting server meshing into the game was a fantastic step. I mean it. I am totally honest. However, telling us it works flawlessly is something else. Please Chris, come on. Stop telling us things that are not true.
Server meshing has been working pretty much flawlessly at scale for the past 9 months.
Now the problem with the first iteration of server meshing we got in January 2025 is we still have massive interaction delays and do-things, and CRG is putting more and more things onto their servers. Recently nukes and engineering. More and more things, more and more states the server shard needs to be aware of. A lot of data has to be stored, transported and distributed in the server shard. I want Star Citizen to succeed. I want this game to become a fantastic success. But Chris has to show us he can actually do it. He can give us a game with acceptable interaction delays and acceptable do-things. And so far, Chris has not. I advise everyone to stop throwing money into this until Chris shows us that he can actually make an MMO with acceptable interaction delays and do-things. And with server meshing that actually works flawlessly.
Server meshing has been working pretty much flawlessly at scale for the past 9 months.
Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye. Auf Wiedersehen. Okay, Flickr, fire when ready. Oops. Okay. Okay, we learned something, Flickr. Hey, you're still here. You might want to join me on Twitter or on Blue Sky.